Okay, let's do the next thing. We are skipping SketchUp section views. They're very similar to the Revit ones, and we'll go over that if you think you need it. And we're going to go into create pipe intersection files. And this is the technique I'm going to show you is not nearly as important in use now as it was, say, 10 years ago. Our 3D modeling skills are much stronger, and our ability to look at things in different planes is much stronger. But there are still some examples of this in the working world, especially when you have a point and a pipe somewhere else, and you need to figure out where that pipe is going to go to cut into it and find out the length and the angle that it's at and how much it has to go up and things like that. So this is useful in those areas, although our 3D modeling has made this technique I'm going to show you a little less, actually a lot less needed than it was, say, 10 to 15 years ago. But I think it's still worth doing. It's a good exercise and it gives you another new thing to see. So again, no SketchUp needed. It's been removed from the modules, and we're going to do this cut in files. And this one's AutoCAD. So again, we go here. Here I've crossed this out, and we're into pipe cut in files. And this goes to a folder, and there's 4 of them to do, and they don't take very long. So I'll just do this one. I've opened it up. I've downloaded it and opened it up. And here it is. Here's a pipe. And note that I've gone into 3D modeling. Okay, so I am in the 3D modeling workspace, and I've set mine to be gray so that I can tell the difference. So here's a top plan view, and you can't really see what's going on, but when I go to my front view, I go, oh, that thing's above that, and this is actually going up a little bit and a little bit to the south. This thing's just going somewhere. I don't know. But what I want to do is find out how to create a pipe that goes from this point of connection. This could be a point on a street, and you have to run a plumbing line down to cold water supply or drain or something like that. You just get these things often. The point you want just doesn't line up just great. But I do know that my pipe has to hit here at 90 degrees. So then I go to my home and I draw a line from the center (90 degrees). And I don't have 90 degrees on there either. So let me put perpendicular. These are all skills that you've probably got at least in 2D. And that's really good, but when I come over here and I take a dimension, I'm not positive what I'm really getting. Okay, so I can put a dimension on here, and I'll make it an aligned dimension. 134. And when I click on this, it comes out right. So that is letting me know that I'm associative, and that's actually the true 3D dimension. But if I did that unassociative, I'm just going to get a spot near it over to, say, someplace near it. Get that right. I want unassociative here to, say, here. You can see it's not able to always pick it up and give me that one. Okay, so I want to look at this true so I can lay something on it. How am I going to do that? So here's how. If I go to my top view, that's in my world view. When I come over to here, let me put it into my world view. I can see north, south, east, west. It's world view. I'm looking straight down and I'm not seeing the real thing. I want to see something that lines up with this point, and this point flat in the plane. Then I know I'm looking straight at it. So I do that with UCS 3P. Okay, this is called your UCS, your user coordinate system. And I can set a new one by saying UCS 3P, or I can type it UCS, enter, 3P, enter. And I want my origin at the intersection, and then one axis at one end of the pipe, and my other axis. I got to zoom better. Sorry about that. There we go. I'm going to go UCS 3P here, endpoint, and endpoint, center. And look, it gave me a new top view. And everything's all wanky because this is now essentially east and south. This is my new east and south. That is flat. And I can see things true. So this length now I am seeing as true. These lengths I am seeing as true. And so to get that to show up, I'm going to go to my layout. I'm going to get rid of what was there, and I'm going to put in a new rectangular one. And that picks up my new UCS, user coordinate system. And once I'm there, I'm going to lock it. Go back to my model. Okay, so now when I annotate it, I do get, I'll go to my linear because they're all square now and straight. Get the center of that if you can. There we go. And that would tell me that I need to put a fitting in 114.35 feet from the end of this to accept my pipe that's cutting in from this point down to here. Okay? So that's a pipe cut in. And you would take a PDF of this and submit the PDF and the model. Oh, one other thing that you can do is you can actually name this now. If I right click on this, I think I can, where do I do that? Hold on a sec. I do that right here. Here we go. Named coordinates. I can go to the named ones and I can change it right there. So that's my pipe cut in. And the reason that's useful is I can now flip back and forth. I don't think I saved that. Named. Better click OK. There it goes. And now I can click back and forth to my world, which is the way everybody else looks at it, like it, and my pipe cut in. So that's a little bit of work with the UCS and how to get dimensions out of it. It's not as important anymore because if I click on this, it really does give me all of the information. Sorry, I'll go back to my world coordinate system. It gives me all the coordinates of the start and end and the length. So I can get that data from my properties, but a lot of times people need to be able to see it so they can do a detail and see what's going on. Okay, so there we go. PDF of this, your model, your UCS named for all four of these. There we go.